All right, I've chit-chatted enough. Let's get started. How do you make money doing apartments? The first thing you want to do is these color pages. It's right here in front. Okay, these pages is going to tell you some very valuable information. If you just look at the first couple of ones, you'll see what it's saying. It's paying 150% commission. They're giving your clients 12 weeks free. Ones are starting at $13.99. So let's just say that's $1,400. 150%, you add $700 more to that. Bam! The thing that's really cool about this with apartment complexes most of the time, I do not get in my car to get clients to go to apartment complexes. You get paid without getting in your car. To rent a house, a landlord deal, I don't care. I've seen maybe 2 or 3 where a house landlord deal is paying you 100%. But on the majority, it is 50%. But with apartments, most of the time it's 100 to 150% commission, and you don't even get in your car. You can do it in your pajamas. Oh, I can't find a babysitter. Guess what? You can do it at your house while the kids are playing on the floor by you and get paid. I got a check on December 31st. The commission was $28.50, I think it was. Okay? Isn't that almost 100%? $100,000 house rather? And I did it in my chair. So there's no shame in getting paid on apartments. And so the other thing is, see, I know I got your full attention. Now all that other fluff I was talking, I was just stalling because I know money is what's going to get your attention. Okay? All you want to know is how to make money. Okay? And so this is going to be your easiest way to make money. It's less paperwork. You don't have to go through Maryland. There's no compliance. It's the easiest money you're going to make once you know what you're doing. It ain't so easy that I made almost $3,000 on a commission if I didn't know the properties and communities. I couldn't have sent my client to a property where they enjoyed and ecstatic and happy and sending me videos of themselves running up and down the aisle. Woohoo! Thank you, thank you, thank you. Then that's what they do. They send me stuff and say, oh my God, you got me in. Thank you. I got them in. Like that phrase, I got them in, because everybody who make that kind of money always don't qualify for all properties. There are properties out there that will not work with somebody who has a broken lease, who will not work with somebody who has a credit score under 650. Luxury apartments are a little harder to get in. And so you have to know where you can send your clients where they're going to work with their circumstances. They got the money. Oh, and they got a pit bull. That one's going to be hard. Pit bull, Rottweiler, and felonies are going to be hard to get people in on. The thing of it is, you have to recognize in this business, even when I worked for the welfare department, I knew I couldn't help everybody. And once you get that in your head that you cannot help everybody, you're halfway there. Don't waste your time with somebody who has a credit score barely 500, 550, and has champagne taste and want all this and that, when you know you're not going to be able to get them qualified for everything. So somebody calls you with a 700 credit score and they want something, they want to move by this weekend, and they don't have time to look. They don't want you to send them a whole bunch of properties. They only want you to send them 2 or 3 properties. And then when you send it, you make sure you verify that the apartment is available. Because if you don't do your homework, you're not going to get paid. So when I send my clients to a property, I call. That's how you get paid. You call. You check. Do you have it? Is it available? And price quote. What floor is it on? And then when you send it to your clients, you tell them who you spoke to. So when I send my clients a list, I say, I spoke to Charles, I spoke to Bobby, I spoke to Chris. They have the 2-2 on the second floor, and today the price is this. That price does not stay for long. It's just like getting airline tickets. That quote only lasts for so long. Now, because you have it printed out and because I have verified it with them, when you go to the property, if you go, say this weekend, and the quote's supposed to end on Friday, a lot of times, because you have it printed out and verified, I've done some work. I've spoke to somebody, they will a lot of times honor that price and give it to you, even if the price has gone up. Because a lot of times apartment complexes think we just sit on our butts and get paid the big bucks and that we don't deserve our money. But when you do a little bit, just a little bit of work, just call. You usually get a relationship with that leasing agent, the management, and it's like, oh, Dilcie sent you? Yeah, she called us earlier. We'll give you that price. Okay? So even though it can be easy, you still got to earn it. Now, when you see, okay, what I've sent you, what I'm showing you right here, there's unfortunately no parties right now. But once you sign up, this is with apartmentdata.com, apartmentdata.com. It used to be free. Now it's a $50 sign-up, one-time sign-up fee. When I, old school back in the 90s, when I joined, it was like $100 and something every quarter. And so, you know, well, that was my tax deduction. So when they started giving it free, I didn't want to pay. I didn't want it free at first. I kept wanting to keep paying. It's like, Dilcie, the apartments pay enough. You don't need to pay, okay? So now, I guess, it started building up. And I know it's building up because a lot of real estate companies don't do leases. Century 21 and, you know, the other ones, a lot of them don't do leases. And then a lot of your clients, when you're working for Keller Williams, they're going to be like, they're going to think you don't do rentals. You got to let everybody know. You can't be a secret agent. You got to let people know that you do apartments, okay? And you'll be surprised how people go from apartments to purchasing. A lot of my clients, I stay in touch. I send them Christmas cards. I do follow up when their lease is about to expire. And I get them into their first home while they're working on their credit, while they're working on their student loans, while they're working on whatever. Like the client I got that high dollar lease, well, she had been a homeowner forever, but she was going through a divorce and she wanted to be at a place so that when she is dating and the men come, her new dates come and check out where she lives, she know they got to know they can't come half-stepping if she's doing this by herself. So that's why she wanted that place. All right, so what you want to do is when you see these things, when you go into apartment data, all these little things will tell you what they're paying. So as you see, most of them paying you over 100%. It's several pages. You see, it just hits you 125, 150, a lot of them. And it all counts towards you capping. I have capped a lot faster because of the fact that I'm adding apartments to my total. So it all adds up. Every dime you make is a commission. It goes towards your cap. So, oh, you've seen them Fantastic Four parties? You need 8 rentals to do it, or 2 sales and 4 rentals, you know. And then you can hang out with the big ballers and be partying with the Fantastic Four group. So, you know, and you get to get friends who are maybe higher up than you, and they'll send you their leases that they don't want to do. It's another way to network and make friends. So visit the apartments. There's going to be parties. Once you sign up, they'll send you invites and tell you about parties that's coming up. I've gotten flat screen TVs. I've gotten cruises. I've gotten money. So there's things to do. And the first time I had a mimosa in the middle of the afternoon was at an apartment complex party. What is this? That was back in the 90s. I was still young. Okay. So, so you go to, how do you get, you know, leads? You visit apartment locator parties. You network with the leasing staff. Not at the party. Not too much. At the party, when you're touring, they're going to take you on tours to visit the apartments and everything. Watch the person. If that person has personality plus, call that person later after the party and let her know that you was impressed with how she toured you. You know, get a friendship going with a person who knows the property. And when you get a client, and you do every now and then take your client, lay back. Don't help them do their job. Just let them do their job. They will like you a lot better if you, so say they're in the golf cart and touring the property. I sit in the back. Let my client bond with the leasing agent. Because if they rent there, that's where their bond is starting anyway, right there in the front seat. Let them do it. And then if you see the agent doesn't have personality and don't know crap, and you've been there before, then you can point out things like, oh, do they still hang out and do the volleyball over there? Point out things that, you know, you see that she's not doing, you know. So it's helping her get the job, but it's also letting your client know that you knew that property. So that's another reason why you want to visit every now and then whenever there's a party or something you want to go. So, and you also want everybody in your database to know that you do rentals. And, you know, and like I said, when you're doing rentals, your fiduciary duty is to your client. But sometimes people say they want a house, they want to rent a house, but they don't think it all the way through. And so you make sure they understand. Well, okay, sure. I was doing property desk one time. A lady called in. It was a $2,500 lease. She was calling on. And I was like, you do know the deposit is equal. She said, yes, I'm paying $2,300 right now. I said, okay. I said, so that's $5,000 to get in the door. Are you really wanting to do that? I said, for another $1,000 or so, you could be buying. And then you wouldn't have to deal with the landlord telling you where your dogs can be. I said, are you really sure you want to do that? She's like, well, yeah, I think so. I said, I felt, I smell it. I'm a shark in the water. Oh, I smell the blood. Okay. Spoke to her, long story short, I sent her an amortization chart showing her for that same money how much she could get, for that same money how much she could get in a house. We ended up closing on a house, brand new house, you know, for over $200,000, and she called in on a $2,500 lease. So with me, I always say, you know, when people call in, this ain't Macy's, this ain't Whataburger, this ain't McDonald's, it ain't customers have it your way. They're your clients. And you want to let them know there's other options besides what they just happen to be calling in curious on. And then you take control and let them know there's other options that you might be able to help them with. And so I always tell everybody that I do everything residential. Okay, I don't advertise on Craigslist. I never have. You know, I still remember the Craigslist killer and stuff. I just don't. Okay. Always network with other agents, letting them know that you do leases. Okay. With lease referrals, I have a scale of how much I'm going to pay. You know, like it starts at 10%, 15% to 20%, because the money's just too small for me to be giving somebody like 20% of a lease when the money is smaller than a sale. And so all money ain't good money. You know, just depends on how hungry you are. I just don't. Everybody's not going to have that same thing, but you know, sometimes you just have to say what you will and won't do. You know, sometimes something's better than nothing. On your website, always let it be known that you do rentals so that people know. Just spread the word. Don't keep it a secret that you're in real estate. Let everybody know you're in real estate. Every time you go somewhere, let them know. When you're in the grocery store, let them know. When you're in line, let them know. Wear something to let people know you're a real estate agent. Genevieve Rowland is one of our top agents here in the office. There is a thing, River Oaks garage sale, every year in October. She's in line early in the morning. She wears some badass suits, you know, that she done got from River Oaks garage sale, okay? She's in line first thing, and while she's in line, she's talking and letting people know and passing out her card. I'm a real estate agent. So let everybody know everywhere you go that you're a real estate agent. Young man who just walked in the door, you want to tell everybody how long you've been in real estate and what your name is? Just your name and how long you've been here. You late. You ain't going to go there. Uh-huh. Welcome. All right. How to work rentals with, this is for landlords. Okay. That's what that other page was for. Every lead I take, I do it on this page right here. That's this one on the back.
Oh, on the back.
I'm sorry.
Oh, on the back here. There we go.
I'm sorry. On the back of this one. Okay? I made it up. So you make copies. I'll make sure I leave a blank one right here if y'all write anything on it, and then y'all just make copies. Okay, I made it up. Okay, every lead I take, I write the name in, write the telephone number, and I get their email address. I just fit the email address usually on this top line. Okay. Then I ask, where do they live now? If you ask people where they live right now, you get a lot of information you don't even realize you're getting. I stay with my mom and dad. What? If their voice sound like they've been on this earth a little bit longer than in their early 20s, yeah, you can usually tell. If somebody's in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, voice start changing a little bit. What? And so usually sometimes if they're in there, you can tell in their voice that they've been on earth a little while. And you're like, okay, keep that in the back of your mind, stay with the pen, but you write it down. And then you, well, do you have any rental history? So if they say, well, I was a homeowner and I just sold my house and I just moved to Houston, bam. See, that person's going to probably be pretty good. Or they just went through a divorce. Their credit could be shot to hell because they went through a divorce. But they might still have good money. So you're getting this information and you're putting it down. And I put it in this little box over here so that I can be knowing what my problems is, what my drama is, so when I know what to work with them. And you always, always ask your people about the same questions in case you're being shopped by fair housing. You always want to keep the questions about the same because you don't want to look like you're discriminating against anybody. So I ask just about everybody I work with, before I start looking for you a place for rentals, before I start looking for you a place, is there any drama that's going to keep you from getting qualified? No? Okay. All right, good. That's excellent. I like hearing that. So there's no felonies, no misdemeanors, no broken leases, right? Oh. Would a felony from when I was, in high school affect me today? In Texas, yeah. It doesn't matter if it's 100 years ago in Texas. Most apartment complexes in Houston, it's an automatic denial if you have a felony. Don't matter if it's welfare, fraud, or murder. They're all treated about the same. There's about 10% of the apartment complexes in Houston that will work with a felony. The rest, you just SOL. Yeah. I'll usually throw them away. I can't help everybody. That's the part you miss when you come in late. Yeah. We didn't just meet yesterday. You and I have crossed paths before. You know I ain't going to short step with you. Yeah. Okay. First thing you always want to know is, are they working with an agent? When you're on apartmentdata.com, as soon as you put their name in there, you're going to see. It's going to give you a click. Conflict, they're working with another agent. But I'm going back and forth, forgive me. I might have ADD or something like that, I'm not sure. No, ATD, attention deficit? Yeah, I think I might have it. But if they're working with another agent, you want to find out, well, why are you calling me? Why didn't you call your agent? And find out what the cause is, because sometimes they're working with another agent, but that agent's not paying attention to them. I have had people call me and tell me they have just graduated with their bachelor's degree and they got a good job in the medical center, and the agent who they call keeps sending them to the hood. Well, baby, let me help you. Because that agent, I know, thank you to that agent who's not paying attention. So obviously that agent may have did some stereotypical thing and blew the deal. So I never do that. Don't never judge a book by a cover. You never know. Just because somebody wear jeans every day, they might be driving a Maserati home. So you don't know. Don't never judge a book by its cover. When do you need to move? When do your lease end? Ask these qualifying questions because people have no problem with wasting your time. My lease ends in June. There's nothing I can do for you in January for a lease that's going to end in June. Don't bite your tongue. Say it because people have no problem with wasting your time. Say, only thing I can find for you is 60 days out. Most apartment complexes require 60-day notice. So you just say it. You know, people will either respect you for telling them the truth or they'll just go to somebody else who they will waste their time. And then, believe it or not, they will still call you back when the real time come up and say they appreciate you for being honest. And now they want to help. Can you help me? You'll be surprised. So always ask when the lease ends because, you know, otherwise the rent price was today and the rent price in 6 months. You don't have a crystal ball. Nobody knows. That's why I have this page, always obtain information. Ask qualifying questions. That's what I was telling you to do. Always give them the information about broker services and create a client file with the communication log and add them to your database. Always add people to your database so that you can stay in touch with them. Have they taken y'all through creating your database and stuff yet? Well, it's coming. Some of y'all are newer than others. Okay, so when they're wanting to get houses, I go on HAR. Have any of you signed up for HAR and MLS? Okay, so when I send people a list for the area, for the criteria that they want, I may send them 30 houses. And I tell them, when I send them the email, I say pick your top 4 to 6 houses for us to go look at on the day they didn't told me they're free. And I have had people call me back and say, I found 12 that I want to look at, you know. And, you know, I told them 4 to 6. And they called me back and said they want to look at 12. I just politely say, baby, please look at that list. I'm looking at that list and I'm a little confused. I'm a little confused. One of these houses is 1,200 square feet and one of them is 3,000 square feet. One of these houses was built in 1955 and one of them was just brand new, 2 years old. There's no way your taste can fluctuate that much. Either the 3,000 square foot house is going to work for you or the small house. Which one really do you want? Well, the pictures are so pretty, but yeah, I don't have all day to spend with you. Please pick your top 4 to 6. I don't always say everything that I'm telling you guys, but I'm telling it to you. They feel it because I'm not going to do it. You know, and it's like, no, believe it or not, 4 houses is 2 hours unless they're in the same subdivision or on the same block. So if they're not next door to each other, every 2 houses is an hour. So you have to say, this is all you need. Even when I'm taking clients out to buy, I still tell them pick 4 to 6 houses for us to go look at because it is about that time frame. On here they say pick, when we did this we said 5 when we started. But like I said, 4 to 6 is still kind of reasonable. When touring the house, the first thing I do when we're touring the house, most of the time, if they're a couple, I usually have them behind me in my car because they might not like my music, you know, what I'm listening to. But it also gets them to bond and say things to each other. First thing I say when we get out their car, what do you think? Before I even open the door, what do you think of the neighborhood? You know? You like the curb appeal? Do you like this house? When we go in the house, I tell them to do this like we're going to the movies. Like you're rating a movie. 1 star, we could have stayed in the car. 2 stars, it's nothing good, nothing bad. 3 stars, almost, but I wish it had 2.5 baths. 4 stars, yeah, I like this one, let's do an application. Well, good, let's go. Let me call the agent. I'll call the agent right there. Make sure you know, they haven't been lax in allowing me, giving me permission to show this dang on place, and then say, oh, we just accepted a contract. it still can happen, but on the majority, when you make the appointments, usually if they are working an application, they usually tell you. But every now and then you get that agent who don't give a damn about your time and let you go ahead and show it, and they just was waiting for the money for the application, and they already approved the person, for the deposit rather. Okay. So as soon as my clients tell me they want it, I call the agent right there from the house and let my client listen to me, you know, talk to the listing agent, say, I'm getting ready to send you an application over. I send the completed application to them, but now a lot of listing agents do not want the application anymore. They're telling you to go online and fill out applications, you know, so this is, it's all about however the listing agent want you to send in the application. If your client gives you the application to submit for them, let them know that you're going to shred it as soon as you send it. You're not going to keep it. You don't supposed to keep anybody's application. You don't want their personal information. If you scan it through your email, delete it afterwards, because if, God forbid, if something happens to your laptop or something and their applications on there, you know, you don't want to be responsible for anybody being able to get fraud because you had their application in your computer. It's under forms and your resources. Yeah. Okay. And then the application fee also, a lot of times we don't need to collect money neither. A lot of, just like we have Go Rent now on the wall here, that a lot of agents use that or tell them to go online through Smart Move and apply. They'll have the property on Smart Move. So it's getting better where we don't need to collect any money from the clients. We don't need to collect applications. So it's getting a lot better on that part of the transaction. Okay. Once the application is approved, then the landlord is going to request a deposit, and the deposit should be submitted within 24 hours to 48 hours on the norm. Every now and then you'll get a landlord who's a little bit reasonable. This is the first of the year, for example, and so say if somebody got approved today, they might not have any money till Friday. So that is a little bit more than 48 hours, but usually people are pretty flexible if that person's going to get paid on Friday and say, okay. But unfortunately, they're going to keep taking applications because you're not approved and you can't, that property is not yours until they get that deposit. So you tell them you might want to borrow from your mama or daddy or somebody and then pay them back on Friday as opposed to chancing losing this place if you really like it. A little pressure on your people. Okay, the listing agent should complete the lease, but if they don't make it your thing to say, it's your listing, you need to fill it out. If they say you can go ahead and fill out the contract for your client, then make it good for your client. I always put in there rekey the locks. I'll put in there that my client is not going to pay for any repairs until the first 30 to 60 days. Any repairs, anything that break down is a landlord's responsibility. I put all kinds of stuff in there because I wrote it. If you want me to write it, then I'm going to write it. You know, and so I'll put stuff like that in there. Always put in there rekey the locks, though. That's the law. They should rekey the locks. Every now and then there will be something that your client should know, like if they're leasing a condo, for example. The biggest difference between renting a condo and renting an apartment complex that people will find out is that because their neighbors are owners, they're watching you because you are moving into their community that they own. And so they will be reporting to the landlord if you are doing any violations, and most of the time it's parking violations. A lot of times when people move into condo communities, they will park in somebody else's spot, or they'll park in the spots that's for guest parking every day or something like that. Those are things you just let them, remind them, hey, your neighbors are watching you. these are the rules for this community. Make sure they know the rules of the community if they rent a condo. Okay. As soon as your client is approved and the first month rent is paid, say they're moving in on the first, really as soon as they're approved, check with the listing agent. Okay, I'm sending you the agreement between brokers, and I'm sending you my W-9, which is Keller Williams W-9, not your personal W-9, okay? Everything goes through Keller Williams W-9, even if you're at 100%, even if you didn't cap, it still goes through Keller Williams W-9. And so you want to know, and okay, so after my client move in, when do y'all pay? I would think you would not need me to tell y'all that, but you'd be surprised at how many new agents have came up to me and said, you know, my person moved in a month ago and I still haven't got paid and stuff. I'm like, why haven't you called? I don't think shy and real estate go together. It's your money, call. Where's my money? But save yourself some grief, ask up front. And you'll be surprised. Like I think Gary Green, for example, they pay like twice a month. So don't matter when so if you get that lease right the day after they didn't cut checks on the 15th, then you're going to have to wait to the end of the month. So just ask so you'll know. And that's another big difference between apartments and landlords. Apartments can pay you anywhere from 2 weeks to 9 months. Waiting on that money. Yes, babe.
Is that agreement between the brokers?
It should be under all your forms. All your forms, wherever you get your contracts at. I use zip forms. Okay, it's in there, agreement between brokers, but it's under resources with, for where all your documents are, is in there. And so wherever you're going, whatever, whoever your coach is, whoever's teaching you how to do contracts and so forth, it's all the forms you're going to need are going to be under there, under resources on the majority. I'm old school, like I said, started in the 90s, and so I still use zip forms. And then when I send my contracts through, I send them through dot loop, but I use zip form first, which might be dual work, but you do what you're comfortable with and what's easier for you. And but all you new school agents and everything, just about everything you need should be under resources, under your Keller Williams intranet section, all the forms and everything under Market Center. It should be in there, all the forms you need. So that's what I'm saying, coordinate the place and time. You know, sometimes it might be easier for you to just run by that office and get your money. You know, like if it's coming up on the weekend, you got a hot date, you want to go get that money, as opposed to them mailing it. You know. The first month check and the deposit, what you want to inform your clients on landlord deals is usually money orders or cashier checks. And our office will not take, so if it's a listing agent here, our office does not take personal checks at all. On the majority, most companies do not take personal checks, simply because somebody who, before we got into the business, or before y'all got into the business, of course, have bounced checks. With the first month rent, really? Yeah, it happens. So make sure they pay. The first check for the deposit goes to the landlord, and the second check goes to the listing agent's company on the majority. On the majority, if it's with RE/MAX, so the deposit goes to the landlord, first month's check go to RE/MAX, and then RE/MAX turn around and cut a check for Keller Williams. Not in your name, to Keller Williams. Then you should have done your green sheet also, and your green sheet comes right after you get the contract approved, you send all that to Maryland. You do your green sheet, and on there, you'll know how much your check is gonna be before the check come in. Okay, the inventory and condition form, it's like 7 pages of every room, everything from the mailbox. You make sure your client fill that out. On that form, when they move in, they usually have 7 to 10 days to get it filled out and submitted on the condition of how they accepted the house, the condo, the landlord deal, whatever it is. You tell your clients, it doesn't matter if something is this big, discoloration in the carpet, for example. You make sure you tell your client, document it, that they're accepting it like that, and take a picture. Because a year, or if they end up staying there a couple years, and then the landlord will be like, no, that hole wasn't there, and then they're playing with their deposit. But if they document it and then normal wear and tear, if it has expanded, they have some proof. So that's their proof of how they accepted it. And then the client gets the keys. Do not be there. You're done. Once you found the place, don't go there and be trying to help your client do the walk-in and tell them what they need to do and everything. The only time you're going to get any residential deal that's going to be as close to perfect as man can do is new construction. Okay? So don't get in there and be trying to tell people what they need to do or blah, blah, blah. Just have them document how they accepted it and be done, but don't you get in it, okay? I had a listing where I know the landlord, it was my listing, and the landlord had maids come in, and then he was there like late into the night doing things, and the listing agent and the tenant did their walkthrough, and then they called me, and it was like, your client didn't have a maid clean the house per the contract, and contract said it had to be professionally cleaned. And we have told him, we're sitting here talking to him, and we told him everything, and blah, 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 blah. And I'm listening to her, and I said, so let me see if I understand this correctly. You're telling me that you just met this man, and you told him to his face that he's a liar? And I said, and what is his response? I said, because me, I would tell you to go yourself. You know, you can go ahead and leave if you don't want it, but that's the way it is, and he's done it. I said, I know he did it because I helped hire the maid for him. So I said, so, ooh, y'all got balls to sit there and tell somebody they're a liar and that they didn't do something to their face. I said, good luck with that, okay? But I'm not getting involved in that. And I told her, I said, I think you better call your broker because I don't even think you're supposed to be there. I be saying that a lot of times. I don't think to people, or I'm confused, when I'm really not. It's just my polite way of not really just calling them totally on the carpet because I'm not real good at confrontations. And so I just politely say, I don't think you can do that. Why don't you check with your broker? And when I say check with your broker, they check with their broker and they usually find out, oops. Because usually when I say something, I usually know what I'm talking about. I did this for 24 years without a husband, sugar daddy, or nothing, just me, okay? So after your client moves in, call them and check on them and see how they're doing and make sure they like the place and stuff. You're just checking on them. You're just being polite. You're really not calling to fix nothing, okay? Once they done moved in there, it's between them and the landlord. Don't step out of your lane. Stay in your lane, you know? Don't put on a cap that you're not qualified to wear. All you can do is make sure, if they are disgruntled, they're not happy with something, say, well, call the landlord. See what you can do. And if he's not making it right for you, then let him know in writing that you want out. You know, do something like that. And be careful with that because you don't want to get in that gray area of plain management. And we can't do property management. So, you know, be very careful of when your clients be trying to pull you into things once they're in there. Marilyn will have your head, and so will Michael. We're not property management people, so don't. Your job is just to find it for them. You've done your job. You're in there. And then if you want out, I'll be glad to help you find another place before that show up on your credit. Okay, and you should get your commission on lease houses within 10 to 14 days. And your client, thank you note, always. Thank you notes, Christmas cards, and 2 months before their lease expire, follow-up letters. Those are the best ways to get repeat business, showing that you care, that you just didn't just do that for them. So thank you notes, follow-up 2 months before the lease expire, and Christmas cards. All right, apartment located. It's really kind of the same. You get the information on here. You ask the qualifying questions. You get the I don't do that because there's really no reason to. Give them the information about broker services. Yeah, I really don't do that. Okay, and then enter the transaction. Okay, let me show you how to do apartment data. That's what some of y'all, that's the only thing y'all came here for, right? Okay, let me see if I can find it. I don't know what I'm doing. Huh? How do I escape? Just escape? Okay, escape again? Wait a minute, hold on. Hold on, let me see if I can make it small. Okay, now, is she, it's Google Chrome. Okay, how many of y'all are signed up with apartment data? Just half? You gotta do it. And another thing I want you guys to pay attention to, on HAR, there's a lot of agents advertising on HAR, like these are condos or whatever, and be careful, because they will take your money. They will have you go through them and get 50% of that. You're already splitting with your broker. When you're looking for apartments, go to apartmentdata.com to get the true amount of what your commission is going to be. Don't do apartments on HAR. When you, really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They will, they'll make a deal with the manager and say that they're going to put it on HAR for them to get leads to fill the place up. And then they'll have their telephone numbers, the contact person, and then you'll end up splitting your commission with that person. Don't do it. It is my, I just get so pissed off because as realtors, I just think we should have a higher level of being ethical toward each other. And when somebody does that, I feel that they are really stealing among their peers, and it burns me like you wouldn't believe. So one of the easiest way to tell that that is not a condo is right here is where the tax account should be. The tax account ID should be right there. And if it says NA, non-applicable, then it's an apartment complex. Okay? So learn, if you don't learn anything else, when you're doing searches and you're trying to help your client find a condo, know that's the big difference. One of our agents that happened to, and what made it so bad is Asset Plus, our neighbors upstairs, and I went to bat for him and I still couldn't get him the money. Why? Because he had signed that damn the agreement between brokers. And once he had signed it, it wasn't nothing I could do. All right. This is mine. This is my favorite thing right here, the invoice manager. Do you see where I clicked at? Okay. Let me go back. Okay, up here, parties and events and messages, that's what the printout y'all have, right? And I click right there, and those are the parties and stuff that's going on. Anybody want to help me tell me how to do that? Control plus. Is that big enough? Control plus. All right. And you know, we look out for each other. I say that about all Keller Williams people. All right. So that's where you go to figure out and know what parties is coming up. No parties yet. Damn. It's just the first of the year. Okay. So back to agent menu. Like I said, this is my favorite thing right here, invoice manager. The reason I like this is because once you get an invoice, when you do the paperwork is just an invoice. How are you going to remember? What do you have to trace? Where's that invoice? Okay? So this helps you keep track of your money. Okay? And just to let y'all know, if any of you guys get an apartment and you're getting a move-in special, when you go to the apartments, just put Keller Williams down and then ask one of your fellow agents to do the invoice for you. And then you just let Mary Cruz and Felicia and them know that's not your invoice, that you're just doing it as a favor, because a lot of times if the apartment complex gave you a move-in special, they sometimes have an issue with giving you a commission too. Not all of them, but just to keep it simple, just put your company name down when you're touring the properties, and then when you get approved and everything, then you just find one of your fellow buddies to do the invoice for you. I just did that for an agent here, and you just let them know when you do the green sheet, or I don't do the green sheet for, I just do the invoice. You do everything but the invoice, and when I do that, that way you get paid, and it's under your name, not under your friend's name who wrote the invoice for you. Okay, so this is the one right here. You see the amount $27.85? Okay, so the due date was October 24th. I saved this one back so that you guys would see how I do it. And then the date that I received it was, I'm sorry? It's already gone. I got the money, and so I'm showing you guys how, when the money come in, how I wipe it off my books. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, there's an invoice under resources, under KW resources, but I use this because once you make that invoice, you need to have a way to follow up and see where your money is, to see when it come in. And so I do it this way, and I'll always know when my money is coming in, or when I need to send them a new invoice. It's real easy to do. So that check came in on the 26th. They sent that email out, money, 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 and I said, oh, I forget, when I did my DA, I forgot to tell them I made up this number. And I saw the invoice number. And so the check came in on the 26th, and I got paid on the 28th. And then you submit. And now that amount that was sitting there is down to zero. Yeah. Right. Of course. Yes. If your client gets any move-in specials like up front, They don't have any money to pay you. So yes, that's how come some of them take a little longer to pay you. What?
They'll divide the discount.
Yes, but that has nothing to do with your pay. Yeah. So the thing of it is, if they got it up front, and if they didn't get paid, so if your client got, because why? Because somebody went ahead again. There are people who are on serious crack. Okay. There's just no other way to say it. They on crack. They on some drug that you and I are not on. And they will go, if they can get in, and they will work that special, changing the name, changing their whatever, and they are, and have the ability to live like that. Getting a month free here, a month free there, before it's discovered. And so because people have done that, that's why when they do a move-in special up front, sometimes you don't get paid because they want to make sure that they have collected some money. And that's another reason why I will tell you, I don't work all people. When they call me and tell me they got a broken lease and they got a recent broken lease that just broke it, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to get your money. So why work it? Their drama should not become your drama, okay? So here's the thing. Okay, there's people around here saying, you know, I'm the leasing queen. Well, let's pay attention to something. This was 10220. That's not mine. That's just a friend here at the office. This one was 924, 612, 419, 314, 311, 36, 36, 12. So then that's it. I do an average of 6 to 12 apartment leases a year. I cap every year. I do that $2 million every year. So I teach this class to give back. And so this is just to show you. And then let's back up a little bit here and see how long it takes them to pay so that you don't get discouraged. That one took 95 days, 64 days, 32 days, 61. 21 days. So you see, all of them are not bad. This one's 29 days, 30 days. So as soon as your client get in, I try to send that invoice as soon as they move in. The day they move in, I try to send it in. And so if you send it in as fast as they move in, a lot of times you get your money that fast. So in several years in apartments, I've done $55,000 since 2015 in apartments. Okay? So it's not my bread and butter, but it does put the peanut butter on that bread. Okay. With apartments, when I get a lead, I haven't had an apartment lead since December, and they moved in, and I need to add them in. I get where do I get my leads from? I get my leads from apartment complexes. Yes, I have like 6 apartment complexes that send me leads. Okay? One of the guys who send me leads on a regular, I invited him. If y'all came to a team meeting, you heard me say that I got 2 deals as I got from the casino night. Well, I invited this leasing agent. I've known him for about 10 years. He don't want to do anything more than leasing. You know, he could probably be the manager. He's pretty good. He sends me referrals. I have several managers who send me referrals. We have this guy here at our office. He's a nice guy, but Dilcie, his credit score is, you know, under what we can work with. And we was wondering if you could help him. Here, let me let you talk to him. I talk to that person and say, hey, I know several apartments. I know where your taste is by where you are right now, and I can get you something close to that. And I also know where not to send you. by where you pulled up at. And I would take that lead and work it. And that adds to my production. So I don't spend a lot of time on it. You know, like I'm working with 4 buyers right now. I don't work with a lot of leases, but when they come, when I get a lead, it usually takes me just a couple of hours to find that person a place. Send them the email and send them a place. If that, sometimes I have less than that. They're at the property, they want someplace, they want to move ASAP. Give me 20, 30 minutes because I know the area. They call me, they're in the energy corridor and they need a place. And this place just turned them down. And we had movers, we thought we were going to get approved. Do you know someplace that process an application real fast? Yeah, I do. This management company, they will process it today, but they're going to charge you $10 extra to do it fast. And you send them like that. You find out properties that can do different things and work with different things. That comes with time. That comes with you learning your craft. I'm not one of them ones who's going to help you like a microwave society and give it to you. I'm not spoon feeding you anything because I feel if I spoon feed it to you, you're not going to learn it. But if I tell you they're out there, all you got to do is call. Let me show you something. When you're working a client, I need somebody to volunteer. Just need you, okay. What's your name, babe? Email address? Did I spell it right? Yes. All right. So when you click right here, it's going to check and see if William done called anybody else. It will be flashing right here. Conflict, conflict. Okay. Now, most of the stuff you're going to do is just click on the green. There is a tutorial when you sign up, but unfortunately they don't come to our office anymore. When I used to teach this, I would teach you how to do this, and then the people from Apartment Data would come in and teach you. So I have kind of combined this to teach you guys because they don't do it no more. I don't know, they ain't gotten big, they're building in other states now, and so they don't come and teach us anymore. So you create a list. All right, search tools, I always do any amount. Okay, and then I usually do search tool. But when, like she asked, what if somebody needs something really fast, then I'll click on the apartment's name. But on the majority, I use search tools. Okay, let's say they want, William, let's say you want a 2-bedroom. What's your price range? No more than what? Okay. What area, William? I don't think that's going to be a good one. Hold on. Zip codes. I think that's an expensive zip code, William. Yeah, I think that's an expensive zip code. Let me see. 77006. Yes. Let's see what happens. 3 apartments. Yeah, let's change this right here. Wait a minute. What did I do? Hold on. Maximum 2,800. What did I do? Okay, there we go. All right. So that's a little bit better. And so what you'll see, okay, Camden properties, be very careful with Camden. Camden is not locator friendly. When are they locator friendly? When their occupancy is down. On the majority, they only pay us $250. So be very careful when you dealing with the Camden property, because you already know they're not locator friendly. You want to document really well who you spoke with and document that you verified that they are doing, like apartment data says, that they are paying us 100% with a 12 to 15 month lease. And be careful with that too, because there are properties that for whatever reason are just out to stick it to us. They'll talk your client into an 11-month lease and charge them a little less if they just do 11-month lease, so they don't have to pay us. It's not many. It's not many out there, but you got to be really careful. Ask what they are paying at 11 months. You know, what if my client only do 11 months? What if they do a 6-month? And if they tell you 0? I have had to send a client somewhere who said they were only going to do a 6-month lease. And I said, girl, please, 6 months, you ain't going to stay no place for 6 months. You just barely get to know, you know, your apartment. You're just getting used to your routine in 6 months. Come on. No, for real, I'm going to do this in 6 months. Car got broke in, and she's been there 18 months now. Yeah, so. A lot of times, nothing. A lot of times, nothing, or let me see. Okay. I was just wanting you guys, I'm going to answer that in a few seconds. See, mostly all of these in that 77006 area code is nice, because I've shown some landlord deals in there, and mostly all of them was $2,400 for landlord deals in that area. So as you can see, there is some nice money to be made, because most of them were way higher than that 1,500 max that we were initiating at first. Now, how do you find out certain things? Right here, you see this pink area over here? Okay. On here is where you're going to find that. You see this HUD Section 8 vouchers? Most of the properties in Houston, if they take HUD Section 8 and vouchers, most of them will not pay you. The government's money is green. Our money is green. Most of them don't pay. And so that's the thing that you need to know. If you're going to be working a Section 8 lease, do know you're going to be working for charity. My spiel usually be, in case I'm being shopped, is like, your caseworker should have given you a list of places that'll take that Section 8, but most of the properties in Houston, because of Harvey and other incidents, most of them are full and have a waiting list, and the waiting list is about a year long. So you might want to go to your caseworker and see if they have anything. So, unfortunately, I have never been able to find anybody a place on housing but twice in 24 years. So here's your drama right here. Short-term, three-month lease right here. See, it's under the pink. So it's over here, short-term, less than 3 months. So, but you see, if you click on these, there's ways to find properties that takes evictions, that takes broken leases, misdemeanors, and felonies. You just put that in there, and then for the area they want, and then you do your search. And then just because you did your search and it came up, don't mean anything. Because properties change names, properties change policy. Y'all ain't sending us nothing but felons over here. It's like y'all sending, like somebody's sending a bus of felons over here. We quit taking them. We're not taking no more, okay? Because when you find out that you got a property to take your drama, then everybody's sending them, and then they change their policy, because what happens if you have a property full of felons? Yeah. Don't we all want to just run there and live there, right? Yes, sir. No, no, it doesn't apply. This is just for the apartments. Yeah, with landlord deals, if they take Section 8, they're still hard to find. If you did a search and you got 100 places, probably you only find 5 that will take Section 8. The reason being, a lot of landlords do not want the government in their house. And so in order for them to take that Section 8 person, the government's going to want to come in and do an inspection and make sure that house meets code. Also, most of the time, they don't get paid till 2 months after the person move in. It takes them a while to pay. And so why take Section 8 money when you can take the other person's regular? I forgot to bring it with me, but remember, there is something you can have in your office. There's a little round thing or a little rectangle thing that you can have in your office, and you can just politely, you know, you can't help everybody. Remember that. Because like what burned me on it is when I was taking a person out who came here from one of the floods, and I'm taking them around, and they didn't have a job, and they were like, we were trying to help them because of the disaster they went through, and so we're all just being all neighborly and gung-ho, and we're going to take you out and look at places. And it was like, no, and we had better than this stuff. But, okay, but you don't have a job yet, you know, and so they're trying to give you this place to rent until you have a job. And man, I just got a bad taste in my mouth, and I just kind of stopped between that and the other times. Like I said, you know, don't let my drama get on you. Okay, that's me. Okay, so once you get a person approved, I'm going to show you how I close the deal. Okay. All right. When I call this property. Okay, this is how I close the deal. All right, right here. Spoke with this is just a property. This is just showing you how I close the deal. I didn't even see which property this was. It's just the first one in line. And so what I do to make people put my name down, that's how you're going to get paid if they put your name down. If they don't put your name down, if they put drive-by, or if they leave it blank, and then they call you and say, oh, I got approved, and they forgot to put you down, they're not going to let them come back and fix it on the majority. So you want to make sure up front that the person, when they go to the apartment complex, put your name down. How are you going to do that? Spoke with Mary. Mary has a 2-2 for $2,000 on the second floor. Okay? When you do that, you save all changes. No. This is going to your client. I just put that message in there for my client. Okay? For each apartment that I send, I put a little note like that in there. Each one. I'm sorry? Yes, that's why I just said. I said each property, that's what I said. I put in there, I said, I call this property, and I call them, and then I put in the person's name.
So they go in and ask.
Yes. They go in to, yes. And so they go in and request Mary. And so today is Mary's off day. But they will turn around and say, but how did you know to request Mary? Did you have an appointment with her? It's still get your name on the guest card because they have to answer, how did they know Mary? Yes. No, I don't know where they're going. How would I know when they're going? I did it when I called. I called and asked what they have available. Okay. No, I sent them a text and say, check your email out. And then when I send the email, I will put in okay, so let's just imagine that each one of these apartments, I have put in a message. And then I say, okay, so I click 3 on purpose to give y'all an idea. So I got 3 there, and then you always click on email complete list. Never prospect list. That is wasting your client's time. It will send them the list without the address, without the name. So click on email the complete list, okay? Then you click on this, email complete list, and then right here, I put, please read memo for each apartment. And then when I text them, then I put it in there like you asked. I text, I just sent you a list. Make sure you read the memo for each one so you'll know the prices that was quoted to me. I'm telling them in conversation that I'm going to send it to you. And when I send it to you, it's going to have the price quote, it's going to have the move-in specials. And if they had any drama like credit issues, that person is aware of your credit issues. You just go in there and say, my agent, she told you about my credit, right? You just go in, I've already done it for you. I've already called and made sure they're going to work with that 580 credit score. They're going to work with your dog. They're going to work with your misdemeanor. They are fully aware. Go see Mary. She's ready for you. Okay? Sometimes it's going to be like, they don't deny just on that. They look at the total picture. So it's not just that one thing that's going to deny you. If you got a broken lease from 5 years ago, but you got good rental history since and a good job stability, and you've never broken the law, they look at the total picture, and so they say you can come over here and see them. Richdale Group is one of those properties that do that. See, because y'all stayed, I figured I'd save one for you. Richdale Group has a lot of apartments out there all over Houston, and Richdale Group, and they're flexible about things. They're not going to advertise that they'll work with a felony, but if that felony was a long time ago and that person's been a good citizen for a long time, they will look at the total picture. I have never gotten a murderer or a rapist in, but I have got welfare fraud, tax evasion, those things in. They say they look at the total picture, but if it's harm to a person or property, they may be scared to rent to you. So I'm just saying. All right. So that's how you send a list to your client. When I send this email, okay, I'm going to send it to you, William. Oh, you see, if I didn't save that message, it disappears. You have to put that message in and then send it. If you go back in and always remember to put that message in there in capital letters. Please read your, awesome. But guess what? He got it and so did I. If he opens that email, I will get an email saying he opened it. And so that's another way. And so like when I see my clients have opened the email that I sent them, then I'm able to turn around and call them and say, I sent you email. Are you going today? Are you going tomorrow? That's my follow-up. Once your client is approved, all you do is a green sheet. And most of y'all do not know what that is. They're going to have to teach you how to do a green sheet. But the green sheet on there is going to be step to do the green sheet. The last thing you want to say is, that this is an apartment complex, no compliance required. Which means it doesn't need to go to Maryland, means you don't do a dot loop. You just do the green sheet. And you send it to, it'll go to Mary Cruz and Felicia, and you let them know on the last thing that you do that it is an apartment complex, no compliance required. You just need a DA number. And that DA number, what you want to do is, now I'm going to show you how to make an invoice.
How do you access green sheet?
Under Keller Williams, when you sign into Keller Williams, okay, you know your profile is up there. It's over.
The manual green sheet? Like
Yeah.
the spreadsheet, you have to do one of those manuals?
It's, no. It's under technology. Under technology.
So mykw.kw.
And then under technology, it's like the third or fourth tab down is green sheets. And you just create one. All right, let's go back. Let's say William has, it was the Camden, I'm sorry. So let's say William has decided to go and move into the Camden McGowan station, okay? So, let me see, hold on. Oh, another thing, I'm sorry, one more thing. This is what I always print up. This will save you, excuse my French, but it could save you later in life. I'm gonna say save your ass, but Michael's right there. But always print this out and keep it. Keep it so that you have it as proof of what was quoted to you. Document somewhere what they quoted to you to commission. Richdale Group is another property that I management company. I really like them because they're really honest. They're not here in Texas, so maybe that's why they are a little flexible in the background. I think they're in Oklahoma is their corporate office. So,
Who else should we avoid?
any property, a lot of the properties in Sugar Land, a lot of the properties in Sugar Land only pay us $250. So if they only paying $250, you know, you haven't capped, that's gas money, I guess. So I print this out, and when I print it out, what I'm able to verify is what they told me the commission was. So one time they sent me a check here for 50%, and you know, Felicia and them, it's like, Dilcie, this check doesn't match what you did on your green sheet. What do you want us to do? I said, give it to me. I want the check still. And then I called corporate office to the Richdale Group and said, you guys underpaid me. You only sent me 50%. And they checked. They said, yeah, we're only paying 50%. I said, no. When my client went there, y'all were paying 100%. And she was like, well, do you have any proof? I said, I sure do. She said, well, could you send it over? I sent it over. I got my check the next day. The very next day. She overnight expressed it to me. So, you know what I'm saying? And so always have something to CYA, cover your assets. In real estate, always document and have your paper trail proof. And so that's how come when you send your clients to the property, you're writing down who you spoke to, you're writing it down because you want that person to validate what they've already told you. And so when your client go, they know you're not a fly-by agent. Your competition out there, when they send a list, a lot of times, they just do the search and send it. The search and send it. And then miraculously think they're going to get paid. But there are some agents who are out there who are cheating the system. They send the list and then they tell the person, and if you find a place, put my name down, I'll give you $50. So you're working against that. I'm sorry? Yeah. Yeah. And so you could turn them in. It's against the law. But the problem is it's against the law to offer them that when you haven't got permission from the apartment complex to offer them that. You have to let the apartment complex know that you're doing that. He's not doing that. And at the same time, you don't supposed to give people part of your commission, but then at the same time, they'll turn around and say, but you can gift your client whatever you want. So it becomes a weird world out there of what you can and can't do. I have never, in 24 years, given anybody part of my commission for an apartment. I have given clients part of my commission on a sale, but never on a rental. I do, on the other hand, that leasing agent, those leasing agents out there who send me referrals, I give them $50 in a gift card, non-redeemable to cash, for sending me the client when I lease them. That's why they send them to me. So I've had leasing agents get $200 a month from me because they sent me 4 people and I leased them. So for each one is $50. That you can do. You can give somebody a referral that is not a real estate agent of $50 that is not redeemable to cash. And so I give them MasterCard, Visa. I used to be like, where do you want it for? You know, you want it for DSW shoes, Tarjay, you know, where do you want it for? Now, I just send them Visa, MasterCard, you know, whatever. Just keep it simple. Go wherever you want to go. And people like that. They like that. And then, you know, especially like, okay, they just like everybody else. They live in an apartment complex, a lot of them. They just pay their rent. So if I go buy them with a gift basket, how do I get them interested and excited by me? I'll spend about $60 to $70. I'll go to the dollar store and I'll get a big salad bowl, and then I'll get the gift wrap. They have it at the dollar store. They have that big plastic thing you can put this bowl in, but you don't have to do that. You just get that big salad bowl, then go to Kroger's and get those little sandwich bags of chips, the little small sodas, Slim Jims, whatever you want to throw in there, like you're throwing in there for snacks for your kids. Fill that basket up. Make sure you put your business cards in there and take it by the apartment complex. That's introducing yourself. Or that's just reminding them, hey, you haven't sent me a referral in a minute. Feed them. Feed them. Or take them pizzas. Like I said, this is middle, you know, they just paid last week, they rent. Take them some pizza. Don't take anybody any pizzas or anything if you don't have a relationship yet. People will take your free food and be sending their referral to me. Find out if they're working with anybody before you go start feeding them and everything, you know. But, you know, think about it. Each apartment complex, we just found on all the apartment complexes in his area, they were starting at $1,600 and higher, okay? So 100% to 125%. If you do 4 of those a month, do you really need another job? That's at least $4,000 minimum once that money starts coming in, okay? So if you started right now in January and say it takes 60 days for them checks to start coming in, you know, so by March, you're going to consistently have money coming in. And so every month that, like, a deal just fell out on me, I was counting on that money. And damn it, the man died 10 years ago, and he's disrupting our closing. They didn't do a probate will. Found out the hard way, but you know, you learn from everything in life. So she was like, we did a will. I got the will. He didn't want his kids to get any of this condo. But he did a quit claim deed. That is a nasty word, quit claim deed. And so he did a quit claim deed. And with that quit claim deed, it plainly states none of their kids on either side are supposed to get any of that property if it sells in the future. But it's right out there in writing. But the fact that it put him on the deed, it made them. Now they have to get in touch with all his heirs and make sure they don't want part of the sale. Man was born in 1922. He had 3 wives and he has like 5 kids. This is going to be fun waiting for this check. Okay. Yes. Yes. Right here. Click right here where it says agent summary. And so, and so you always want to do that. Back in the old days when people would come to my office and I will give them this one. So if you ever have a client you're working in person, this is the one you print and that they have with them so they know the prices. All right. Yes. I don't understand. What did you say? Mm-hmm. No, my clients, it's a free service. It's a free service. If you're helping them buy or if you're helping them rent, I don't charge them anything. That's quite a bit. Yeah. Yeah, house is 50%. But you can get a $5,000. I got a $5,000 a month rental house one time. Person had raggedy credit, but they had money. I want it all. Yeah. Okay, I see what you're going with. Okay, when I help somebody rent something, with apartments, as I told you, I don't really concentrate on information about broker services because it really comes like a referral type payment. Even though it's going to come through as a commission, it's a referral type payment, and I don't really lock them into saying they are under buyer's representation because they're really not. This is for an apartment complex is what I'm talking about. So the tenant for an apartment complex, I'm really not representing them like where I buyer's representation and I'm taking you out a certain amount of time and I'm going to show you a certain amount of houses. That's not applicable here. Right. I'm going to call these apartments. My job is I'm saving you time and gas from going to an apartment complex that you're not going to get in, or they don't have anything. You'll be surprised at how many apartment complexes, let me see, 315 units is at this apartment complex, and I'll bet you anything, they have 290 units filled. Most apartment complexes are full. And so the ones that they have left may not be the one that your client wants. They might want a one bedroom. They don't have any one. We don't have any one bedrooms right now, and we won't have any for at least 60 days because nobody has given notice. So what my job is saving them from falling in love with that place, and they don't have anything. I save them from driving. Do you know it is a you know what to drive in Houston, and then you drive there and find out they don't have anything? I save them that. That's why I have, once I get a client wanting me to help them, that's what makes me stand heads above the rest, because they realize after they didn't talk to Mary, Sue, and Joe that their list was incomplete. They gave them the list, and when they got there, we haven't had those prices in 6 months. We don't have any vacancies. And so that's how you close the deal. Ding, 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 ding. If they want to rent a house, then I have to do buyer's rep paperwork. When, I'm sorry, when you look in your package, in the back of this package, when you look in the back of this package, okay, when you start on this page right here, it's like the third, it's the page after all the color pages. Okay, leases on individually owned condos. You see this page? Okay. So you see all this work? That's 2 pages of work. You see the checklist on the next page? This is a checklist of what it takes to get an individually owned home. You see that checklist? That's a lot of dang on paperwork. And then here's your checklist. If you're a listing agent or whatever, it's right there. And then there's your contract checklist. And then, bam! What does it take to do an apartment? 2 little boxes. It's a huge difference. That's why I don't do a lot of lease houses. It's too much dang on paperwork. And with Maryland for compliance, oh my God. And then if it's my listing, dealing with these people lying about whether their dogs are service animals when they know they're not, dealing with that. I just hate doing leases for individual landlords. I hate them. This, I can get paid a lot better with apartments, but I'm going to do it all.
Right, but if you start working with
It has
trying to let
happened.
them find an apartment,
It has happened.
and then after X number of months, they say, oh, I found this house I want.
Right.
And you're SOL, because you're not gonna get paid.
No.
You're gonna have to cut a deal with somebody to get paid.
Sometimes you are just shit out of luck. Sometimes people really will screw you sometimes, but what can you do? A lot of times, it's just like I'm almost 6 feet tall, and it's not every man that can handle this. So everybody ain't qualified to talk to me, okay? Sometimes you just ain't gonna win, and I accept that. And so with dealing with people, sometimes you're not gonna win. But if you're working with many people, when that time you don't win happens, it's no big deal. You get to the next one. Don't take it personal. If I got them, good. If I don't, next. Who sings that? Ariana? Sings next. Just go next. Don't worry about it. Let me see. I think I said I've been doing this for 24 years, and so I've been teaching since 2015 to make sure you guys make money. One time, I'll say that on the floor where she's saying, one time I helped a guy before GPS was really, GPS was in, but not many people was using it. And because I joked and said I was his human GPS. And I told him, light by light, turn by turn, how to get to this apartment complex. And then, another thing, I'm sorry, I need to tell you guys, this is your other CYA on the back of this one. I made this form up for myself. You guys might want to make up one because you do want to take my name off of it. So make up one of these. I had them fill this out. Once he was approved, and they verified that they were paying me 100%. I think it was $1,000 back then. And you fax it to the apartment complex. And they said they're going to pay me 100%. Then they found out he was a cop. And so they said, oh, we're not going to pay you because we gave him a job as an on-site security officer. I said, I'm not an employment agency. Y'all didn't know he was a cop until I sent him to you. And when I sent him to you, I sure the hell wasn't sending him to you for a job. My broker was like, let it go, they're not going to pay you. I said, oh, they're going to pay me. I sent them the filled out form saying where they verified they were going to pay me, and then I sent it to their president of their company and said, that's not good business, and if you don't pay me, I definitely will spread the word of how y'all screwed me. Got my check. It's your money. Fight for it. Fight for it. Yeah. Okay? Y'all are going to need to learn how to do the green sheet And then I'll show you another class probably in March and April after you guys have had 3 months where the green sheet doesn't seem like such a foreign thing for you. But for right now, get you some clients, visit the apartment complexes near you in your neighborhood, let them know that you're in the business as a real estate agent, let them know that you would love to partner with them, and if they can't help somebody, to send you people, and let them know that you're going to definitely send them that $50 gift card if they send you somebody, if you lease them. Keep your word. I will call people and say, you know that person you sent me? I couldn't help him. He just got out of jail. He has a felony. I can't help you. He is under eviction. He didn't tell you that. He's trying to be slick. But as soon as you would have ran his credit, he told me, because I will make these people tell me. I'm like your pastor, your attorney. Tell me what I'm working with. And they'll tell me, and I'll be like, okay, I'll call you back. And then I block their number. Because drama will keep on calling you. They will call you every freaking day with the ones with drama. So if you know, and I used to just tell them I couldn't help them, but then I would get called the B word and all that, you know, so I just like, can't handle the bluntness, so I just be like, I'll call you back, and never do. And then I put them in my phone, drama, you know, whatever, you know, so that way I don't answer the phone. You have something to say? They're just paying you a referral fee. You're not representing the apartment complex. They're paying you a referral fee, and they appreciate you sending them the business. They want you to, on the majority, that's why they are advertising the apartment data. They want you to send them the business. You're not representing the apartment complex. You're kind of representing your clients, but it's really just a referral. That's how it's treated, and that's how come Maryland doesn't need to see it, and it doesn't have to go through compliance because it's looked at as a referral. And like I said, the kicker is because people are flaky, you put in the memo section for them to go see that person. That way they don't say, I was working with somebody, they had some crazy name, I don't know. Well, just put drive-by down. I don't care. You get screwed that way. But if you make them request that person we like, well, how did you know my name? And then we like, let me check my phone. You know, right here, she sent the email to me. You want to teach the class next time? No. Okay. What did you want to say? Go ahead. Nope. I just did it for free for you for 2 hours, so why would you get a tip? So why would you get a tip? Okay. I thought you said get a tip like waitress tip. I'm sorry.
I will give the client's name that's coming. Go ahead and register them.
I said that already. When you make that call, in order to get that person's name, that's how you register them. You have to let them know. When you call the apartment complex, you are getting that person's name, and so your client, so they know. They're going to ask you what your name is, and they're going to ask what your client's name is, and you want them to know your client's name. So both of them have that relationship of looking out for each other. And I didn't emphasize that. I just like you when you call the apartment complex, you're going to tell your client to request that person's name. I just kind of thought, you know, I did say early on, I think before you got here, that I had ADD sometimes. So I may not have emphasized that, how important it is to let them know your client's name as well, because they sometimes work on a commission. And so if you send it to them, that helps their business, and it makes them look good as you keep sending your people to them. And so they like the fact that you're saying every time you send a referral, you send it to them. So every time I send one of my clients to certain apartments, I only tell them to see this certain person, because this person is going to take good care of you. This person has personality. I'm not going to send my clients to a person who don't have personality, who don't know the property, who when they go, they're going to be like, this is our 2-bedroom right here. If you want to go in and look at it, you go ahead, and then just stand at the door or something like that. I'm not going to send my client to that dead personality person. I'm going to send my client to the person who has personality and closing skills who can close the deal. This is a great apartment complex. We got this fitness center here. We got a great social thing going on. That is the leasing agent who's going to close the deal and make you some money. So you want to watch people and send people. If that person is rude to you on the telephone and you was just like, are you the only one there? Who are you going to be working tomorrow because my client's coming tomorrow? And if they say no, then you like, I got the information from this person, but don't request her, request the other person. Because anybody got to be better than that person who took the call yesterday. I do that too. Look out for your clients and they'll appreciate you. Look out for you. Yes. That's for with landlords, for running the credit. When your clients go to landlords, they do not have the abilities like apartment complexes to run background and everything. So we use Smart Move, and then that new vendor we have in our office, goforrent.com, I think it is. It's on the wall by the printer. They charge a little bit more than Smart Move. I think Smart Move is $35, and I think they are $65. But I've been getting a lot of rave reviews from them saying that they are really good, and because they're one of our vendors, you should try them at least once. Yeah, they run the background credit and verify the employment too. That's why I said early on. Remember, I said I got that young lady on, and I said a lot of apartment complexes will not give you a move-in special and want to pay you a commission. They'd be like, "Nah, we can't do that. You can't refer yourself to us, And so when you go, like I said, put down Keller Williams, and then one of your buddies have them invoice it for you. You do the green sheet, and in the green sheet notes, what you're going to say is, Dilcie is going to do an invoice for me, and so it's going to come in under, it might come in under with Dilcie on the check, but it's not hers, it's mine. So that way, I forgot, it's been a long time, I forgot if we get 100% of it or not, I forgot. But they'll tell you up in payroll. I send that as soon as my clients tell me they're approved. So you send that to verify what the commission is. They will tell you what the commission is. I can't tell you how many people have met me in the hallway and said, I told them they're supposed to be paying me 100% and they're not. But did you verify? Did you call? Well, no, I just sent the client. No, when I usually get this is when somebody's cousin, friend, somebody put their name down. They didn't do a damn thing. The friend put their name down, and so now they're trying to get paid, and they got issues. They had never verified anything. And so now they like, but it says in apartment data they're going to pay. But did you call? Call. Call and verify how much they're going to pay you. Because even on apartment data, it might say, for example, let me see if it'll show. Sometimes it'll show when the last time they updated. Let's see it. Sometimes it will show when it was updated, so that way you can kind of know that this information is fresh. I don't see it, but it could be blocking the pop-ups, I'm not sure. But always call, because what's up in here is not 100%. It's close, but like I said, just like the price change, the commission change. If they are at 75% occupancy, the commissions are high. When they get at 99% commission, 99% occupancy, the commissions are low. They only have 1 or 2 apartments to rent, they'll go down to 50% or flat rate. But when they have 10 or more vacancies, the commissions go up because they really are pressured to have those apartments full. That's why they have changed it from 30-day notice to 60-day notice, where they can try to kind of overlap. They will only allow a new tenant most of the time to put in an application to hold the apartment for 30 days, but they will only allow you 60 days notice to vacate. So that way they can be a little bit ahead of when the, so they can keep their numbers kind of a little bit better if they can gauge when somebody's moving out and when somebody's moving in. Any other questions? Every time I teach, my throat gets. That's going to be one of your classes coming up. I know it's going to, I know Chuck do a camp on Saturdays, like every Saturday for it. But it's kind of hard for me to teach it when I know you guys haven't even got to that part of it, you know. And so that's how I said, you know, after y'all been here a couple of months, I'll teach this again. I try to teach it like every quarter. And then it'll flow. And see, that's how I was trying to do it kind of fast, but then I said, wait a minute, most of y'all don't know how to do a green sheet yet. Oh, absolutely. All right. So all y'all gonna make it to y'all 2-year anniversary because y'all gonna be making money. All y'all gonna quit them extra jobs because y'all know y'all can do apartments to supplement as opposed to just waiting for that sale. You're not gonna be putting all your money just in a house sale because you can do leases and make money. And remember, if you get 8 leases, you can hang out with the Fantastic Four, go out drinking and partying with them, and that's a lot of fun. If you get 8 leases, you become part of the Fantastic Four.
In a month? It has to be
In a month, yes ma'am.
in a month.
Yeah, we do it every month. It's the Fantastic Four, but leases to qualify, you need 2. 2 leases for every 1 sale. So you're supposed to have 4 sales, but if you don't, you can do it 2 sales and 4 leases, or one sale and 6 leases, and then you qualify to hang out with the Fantastic Four. And they do something interesting. They go to Top Golf, they go bowling, they go to Pinot Palais, they go all kind of places. Pinot Palais. So they go to all kind of places, and so it's a lot of fun. Mystery theater, and so you're hanging out with the agents. A lot of times what you're hanging out with agents who are top producers, because most of them are doing 4 sales in a month. And so that could be $1 million producer, because some people like Joe Diasano, he does like 4 sales on a regular every month. All righty.